What if every trip to the grocery store could end in deportation? What if your kids feared that today might be the day you never come home? That's the terrifying reality for millions of undocumented immigrants living in America's most hostile states. In 2025, a sweeping wave of crackdowns, law enforcement mandates, and zero sanctuary policies have created what many are calling a living nightmare for undocumented residents. From surprise immigration and customs enforcement raids to states forcing police to act as border agents, the message is crystal clear: you're not welcome here. But which states have gone from bad to absolutely brutal? Stay with us as we count down the 10 worst states for illegal immigrants in 2025, where fear is policy and hiding has become a way of life. And trust me, what's happening in number 1 will leave you speechless. Number 10, Iowa. Think the Midwest is all cornfields and kindness. Not in Iowa. This once sleepy state has exploded into one of the most aggressive enforcers of immigration policy. Over the past 3 years, immigration and customs enforcement detentions in Iowa surged by 30%, as local authorities began working hand in glove with federal agencies. The result? A hostile terrain where undocumented families have virtually nowhere to hide. What's worse, Iowa offers little legal recourse for immigrants caught in the system. According to the Immigrant Legal Resource Center, the state ranks among the most hostile in the nation, with nearly all counties refusing to adopt sanctuary measures. Court backlogs, lack of legal aid, and rushed deportation hearings mean that once you're detained, it's almost game over. And the fear? It's palpable. Community organizers report rising mental health crises in immigrant neighborhoods. Parents avoid hospitals, children miss school, and trust in local police has evaporated. In Iowa, fear isn't just a feeling, it's the foundation of policy. Number 9, Oklahoma. Helping undocumented immigrants isn't just frowned upon, it's illegal. A sweeping law passed in 2023 forces all county sheriffs to contract directly with ICE, triggering a 20% surge in deportation actions across the state. That's not cooperation. That's full-on deputization. This isn't just tough-on-crime politics. It's a systematic assault on immigrant communities. Advocates say undocumented residents have stopped reporting crimes altogether out of fear that police will turn them in. Even victims of domestic violence are staying silent. In some counties, immigration checks are routine traffic stop procedure. And here's the kicker: Oklahoma doesn't offer any legal protections. No sanctuary cities. No safe counties. No local resistance. For undocumented families in Oklahoma, it's like living in a state-sponsored manhunt. But what comes next will shock you. Number 8, West Virginia. You wouldn't expect immigration and customs enforcement to be active in a quiet Appalachian state like West Virginia, but that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Despite having a tiny undocumented population, ICE-related arrests skyrocketed by nearly 50% in just 2 years. There are zero sanctuary policies in the state, and most local police cooperate fully with federal immigration authorities. What that means is every undocumented resident, even in rural or isolated areas, is exposed. There's nowhere to run, and certainly nowhere to hide. Advocates say West Virginia's aggressive stance sends a chilling message to the rest of the nation: it doesn't matter how many of you live here. We will find you. And for the small but terrified undocumented community in the state, it's become a war of attrition. Stay silent, stay invisible, or risk being ripped away from your family. Number 7, Mississippi. Mississippi has always been a tough place to live for those on the margins, but for undocumented immigrants in 2025, it's a different beast entirely. With one of the smallest immigrant populations in the South, you might expect leniency. Instead, the opposite has happened. Over 60% of undocumented immigrants here live in daily fear of detention. The state has some of the strictest immigration enforcement practices in the Deep South, with local police regularly participating in ICE operations. Add to that a lack of legal aid, no sanctuary protections, and deep-rooted anti-immigrant sentiment, and you have a pressure cooker waiting to explode. Residents are going underground. Churches report increased requests for refuge. Schools have noted sharp drops in attendance. For immigrants in Mississippi, daily life isn't just uncertain, it's terrifying. Number 6, North Carolina. North Carolina presents a unique nightmare and unpredictable patchwork of enforcement. In some counties, you'll find relative safety, but in others, immigration and customs enforcement cooperation is mandatory, and deportation risks are up to 40% higher. That's not policy, that's roulette with people's lives. This, county by county, chaos has created confusion and fear. A trip to a neighboring town could mean detention. A routine car stop could lead to a one-way ticket out of the country. Deportations have risen 10 to 15% since 2022 in high enforcement zones, and local jails are filling with people who never imagined they'd be behind bars. For undocumented families in North Carolina, the unpredictability is the real weapon. When you don't know where the danger is, everything becomes a threat. Is this the final warning sign for the U.S.? Number 5. Alabama. Alabama has long been no friend to immigrants, but new laws passed in 2023 took things to an entirely new level. These harsh crackdowns led to a 25% spike in ICE activity in just 1 year, as local police were ordered to enforce federal immigration laws with zero discretion. Families have been ripped apart in the middle of school pickups. Community clinics report a steep decline in immigrant visits due to fear of being reported. And advocates say people are increasingly living on the move, never staying in one place too long to avoid detection. It's not just enforcement, it's intimidation. Local media openly cover ICE raids as routine news. Public sentiment leans heavily toward expulsion, not integration. In Alabama, undocumented immigrants aren't just unwanted, they're hunted. Number 4. Arizona. Being a border state means Arizona has always had a front-row seat to immigration battles. But in 2025, the state has doubled down. Immigration and customs enforcement raids surged by 15 to 20%, and Border Patrol checkpoints have become more militarized and aggressive than ever before. Here's the reality: Arizona prohibits any sanctuary protections. No city, no county, no police chief can offer undocumented immigrants even a sliver of relief. It's total, unrelenting enforcement, and it's only getting worse. Immigrants report harassment at grocery stores, traffic stops, even parks. The pressure is unrelenting. Families are fleeing the state entirely, seeking refuge elsewhere in the Southwest. But for many, it's too late. Arizona has become a trap, and once you're caught in it, escape is nearly impossible. Number 3. Georgia. Georgia has rapidly become a hotbed for anti-immigrant enforcement. In 2024, a law went into effect requiring all law enforcement to share immigration data with federal agencies. That's not just cooperation, that's surveillance. Nearly 50% of undocumented immigrants in high enforcement counties report living in constant fear, according to a Georgia Tribune survey. And the worst part, even children aren't immune. Families are afraid to send kids to school, fearing ICE might be waiting just down the block. The psychological toll is devastating. Immigrants are disappearing from public life. Libraries, clinics, and schools are reporting lower attendance from immigrant communities. Georgia has turned itself into an enforcement machine, and anyone without papers is fuel for its gears. Number 2. Texas. Texas isn't just enforcing immigration law, it's rewriting the rules. With over 2.2 million undocumented residents, the Lone Star State has become ground zero for deportation ops. Every Texas county with a population over 100,000 is now mandated to sign ICE cooperation agreements. Translation: no safe zones. Not even one. Deportation numbers are growing 15% year over year, and with governor-backed initiatives like Operation Lone Star, even state troopers are acting like Border Patrol agents, sometimes 100 miles from the actual border. In Texas, being undocumented is a 24/7 risk. Every police light, every knock on the door, every trip to the corner store could be the last moment of freedom. This isn't just policy, it's war. And Texas is fighting it with everything it's got. Number 1. Florida. No state has gone as far, or as fast, as Florida. In 2025, it is undeniably the most hostile state for undocumented immigrants in the entire country. Why? Because nearly 100% of local law enforcement agencies are now required to cooperate with immigration and customs enforcement. Since 2022, Immigration and customs enforcement raids in Florida have increased by a staggering 25%, sweeping through immigrant-heavy neighborhoods in cities like Miami, Orlando, and Tampa. Community leaders describe the situation as a constant state of siege. Families are living in fear, children are growing up traumatized, and entire neighborhoods are emptying out. And Governor DeSantis has made no secret of it. He wants undocumented immigrants gone, and he's weaponized every arm of state power to make that happen. Over 60% of undocumented residents report feeling unsafe every single day, according to the Southern Political Review. This isn't just a crackdown. It's a full-scale purge. And it's sending shockwaves across the nation. So, what do you do when the land of opportunity becomes a land of fear? In 2025, undocumented immigrants in these 10 states are asking themselves that question every single day. With immigration and customs enforcement raids up by as much as 50%, zero sanctuary protections, and state-mandated enforcement, the American dream is becoming an American nightmare, fast. Is this what immigration reform looks like? Or is this the start of something far darker? One thing is clear: the war on undocumented immigrants is no longer just federal. It's local, it's aggressive, and it's spreading like wildfire. Which state will be next? And more importantly, who will be safe when the net gets even tighter? Subscribe for more bold, unfiltered breakdowns, because this is the side of America the mainstream media refuses to show.